to our, this will be our fourth podcast, and today we have Sheriff Ron Abernathy, Tuscaloosa County Sheriff, with us as our guest. I want to give a real quick introduction. It was back in, I guess, Governor Riley appointed you back in 2009 originally. Originally, and then you've been elected, 2 times in a row?
This makes my third time.
Third time in a row, okay. And then, so you got many years in law enforcement, I guess back in 88 or so when you started.
35 years.
Yeah, wow. And then prior to that, was in the U.S. Army as an officer in the MPs.
That's right.
Okay, we were always told there were 2 groups you never mess with in the service, and those were the shore patrol and the medics.
Yeah.
Because the medics would lose your shot records.
Okay.
Yeah. And you graduated in University of Alabama.
That's correct.
Been to all kinds of law enforcement training, including the FBI agency. Mm-hmm. And what I've seen, you've got a passion for improvement, for being progressive and doing things that are going to be good for the citizens. And some of the things that I've noticed is you're wanting to do the work with mental health.
Absolutely.
There's a big problem in law enforcement with too many people out there that don't need to be in a jail. They need to be in an institution.
That's
somebody
exactly
working
right.
and helping them. I know that's always been a passion of yours, and I know that you're actively working to do something about that. So that's really cool.
Constantly.
And so we want to have Ron back several times because he does so much. No way in the world we're going to be able to get everything in one time. But we thought the 2 topics would be interesting to everybody today is talk about your telephone dog. I thought that was really funny. You got
calls it a telephone
dog, you know, and then your new patrol center that you just opened it.
That's right.
Just opened it over next to the animal control that backs up to the Fred campus for Shelton State, and it's just you were gracious enough to take Dan a tour of it. It's just amazing some of the stuff in there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your dog and then about the center?
Okay, I'll be glad to. The puppy, it's Bucky. That's what we call it, and it's a electronics detection dog. Is what it's classified as. And this came up probably about 9 months ago, I guess, and I really was not even aware that this animal existed.
Yeah.
I mean, a dog that could do this.
Yeah.
And, but talking with some of my canine guys, when I became aware of it, the canine program at the sheriff's office has been very productive, both with drugs and EOD and the tracking dogs and everything. But this was a little bit different. This is kind of stepping out there. You don't see these every day. And I was really fascinated to see how well it was going to work, you know. And after I went through the training and I saw it, I was just amazed at how you could, whether, it could be a thumb drive, a cell phone, or whatever it may be, that was located hidden in a vehicle, and this dog would go straight to it and point like it's pointing at a bird, just like a hunting dog would. And so we've used it a number of times, and it has been incredibly successful. We had somebody throw out a cell phone on the side of the interstate in the grass, and of course our guys get out and look for it, and they can't find it.
Right.
And bring the dog out there and right to it and locate it.
Wow.
Where we're going to use it a lot, though, it's going to be in search warrants. When you go into a house, a lot of times, especially when you're dealing with whether it's a financial crime or pedophile sexual type crime or something like that, sometimes the houses are very cluttered, and trying to locate things is very difficult, especially when you have humans trying to do this and go through to locate it. The fact that we're going to pick this dog and go through and hit immediately to make sure we don't miss something, that we otherwise possibly could have.
That's neat.
So,
I know I've done some volunteer work inside Bibb County Correctional Facility. I need one of those to go through there. That dog would have a field day.
It would. And actually, that was one reason for us getting it.
Yeah.
Is potentially for if somebody got a cell phone within the jail, it
Yeah.
could be used there also.
Yeah.
Does any
Absolutely.
other sheriff department have one in the state?
Yes, I think actually I think Auburn has one
Auburn.
in Lee County, you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know of any other ones.
Auburn's very progressive on dog
Very-
training. Yeah, they got a unit
Sheriff down there
Yeah.
does a great job.
Yeah.
He sure does.
Yeah. Oh, well, tell us about your new building over there and everything. That place is just something.
Yes, it really is. It's named after Sheriff Walker,
Mm-hmm.
which the sheriff that hired me and Lloyd Baker are the only two people that's still at the sheriff's office that Sheriff Walker hired.
Wow.
And it's named after him. Great sheriff for over 20 years. More importantly, he was a incredible war hero.
Yeah.
If not the most decorated, one of the most decorated war heroes in the state of Alabama.
Yeah.
And he was in the Hall of Fame for law enforcement and military service. So
Wow.
that says a lot to accomplish those tasks, not to mention all the medals and stuff he's got. But
Yeah.
it's an incredible facility. It's one where, you know, we had an opportunity after talking with the commission. We're very blessed. The commission has been incredible about blessing the sheriff's office about law enforcement devices and equipment and trying to allow us to make sure that we stay on the cutting edge. And so they were able to support us in doing this. I went to the troops basically and said, we knew what we had in our old facility, but pretty much everything we've got is kind of a hand-me-down, or had been, okay? Even our main office used to be the jail, and then we were in an old airplane hangar.
Yeah.
And so this is the first time we've been able to take something from the ground up and actually build exactly what we wanted. So I went to the troops and was like, what do y'all need? I know what we have here, but what else can we do to make it where you can do your job better? You know, and I said, y'all research it and look at it. And so they did, and they came up with some amazing things, some things I didn't even think of, you know. So within that facility, we have the capability for our records division and our evidence division. Evidence division storage capabilities are more than double, and the records is probably 5 times as much.
Wow.
So,
I was unaware of the fact that the sheriff's department is responsible for holding the election ballots and stuff. I didn't know that. So
yeah, that's part of our function.
Yeah.
I'm on the election committee with your circuit clerk and your probate judge. Primary function of the sheriff's office is the security of the ballots.
Yeah.
You know, to have a secure election.
Yeah.
And so of course some of that is in this facility also.
Yeah.
So the storage of some of the facility, the machines and stuff like that, where we had those machines located in another area that was just kind of makeshift. So it's much better from that standpoint. Like I said, our evidence is way better location, way better capabilities. And of course our records, we have, like I said, we got the capability of 5 times as much as we have now, and we have records going back to when we first started, which is in the some point in the 60s or whatever.
Yeah. Now tell us a little bit about that. I know it looks like you had your own coroner's office over there. That if somebody gets killed in a crime, you know, you guys sort of do the work. And so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have a morgue inside that facility. Back when we got hit with a tornado, y'all may recall, you know, basically we ran out of morgue space. And so a lot of things, you know, you learn from the past. And whatever situation we get faced with, and like in this case with the morgue, I said, okay, well, we can never let this happen again. So we need to look for ways to make it better, you know, and that was one thing. This is one aspect of it. But also, the state used to actually be responsible for the transporting of the body, or like a coroner, for example. And unfortunately, in the time frame it took to get people moved, I just felt that it wasn't the right thing for families to have to deal with that. And again, luckily I had a lot of support from our county commissioners, and they got behind us and supported and said, you know, we're not going to let a family have to go through already a victim being involved in a crime or whatever it may be, or being a victim of a crime, and then have to sit or be out there for hours, you know, in the home or wherever it may be. So we did what we could to make sure and ensure that we corrected that. And the commissioners got behind, gave us the funding. We were able to set it up where we could actually do it immediately. So where in the past it could take upwards of 2 hours or longer, okay, now it only takes probably less than 30 or 45 minutes for us to do that. And so it's a lot better for the families. So that's the least that we could do given that situation. But that allows us to have that there. And then in the case of a natural disaster and stuff, we have the capabilities of going where before we could house 6 bodies, we can house 14 at this location now.
Yeah, yeah. So you're eventually going to have like a van, a particular vehicle that transports those.
We do. We actually, if you notice, we have some ambulances there also. That was another thing that came back to the tornado because we had when the tornado hit, and we had people that either needed to go to the hospital or deceased people, and there was no way really to move these because all the ambulance company was completely tied up in the city. We were having, I was having to tell people to put them in patrol units to take them directly to the hospital. Of course, I said that'll never happen again.
Yeah.
So we started implementing the ambulance program, the deputy paramedic program, and it's been a huge success.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize what I guess that that tornado is sort of exposed to help us build back better.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You've got to learn from, I hate to say mistakes, or you learn from history.
Yeah.
And, and if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards, that's the saying. And when you brought that up earlier, that's where, I always stress we have to be getting better all the time, every day.
Tell us a little bit about the jail. I know that the jail's going through some improvements and stuff like that. Could you just touch on that a little bit? Yeah.
We've got a new modern jail portion of the jail that we're putting on that's going to focus on the health and the medical aspect, especially the mental health aspect of it, along with adding a tremendous amount of additional one-man cells into that facility. And so we're very excited about that. And in the process, because we're landlocked within reason there, and of course nobody wants a new jail coming to their community, of course. So we were able to get a piece of property right next door, and we've done what I'll classify as the jail annex, which will be a facility we can move inmates in, lower, more minimum security type setting for the most part. And we'll have all our women over there, but they don't have misdemeanors and their inmate workers and stuff like that. We'll move them over there while we tear this part of the jail down and rebuild it. And it'll take approximately somewhere between 1.5 years, 2 years for completion.
No.
But getting back to the building, though, besides the records division and the evidence, our patrol division will be there. All of our technical services vehicles, like the ambulances, our SWAT vehicles, our EOD vehicles, all those things are located down there for quick response too, when we want to move anything around. They all have a bay door. You open up, you're out, just like at a fire station.
Yeah.
Very convenient to our maintenance department for repairs, and also very centrally located to the county, so our response in any direction can be very efficient from that perspective.
Before they were all up in Berry, right?
Well,
Some of it?
well, they were over at the hangar.
Over at the hangar.
Most of them were over there at the airport, but moving the big doors and trying to move stuff around, not near as efficient as what this capability is. Sure. We have our K9 training. Y'all saw the K9 facility down there also. And then within the facility itself, it's really amazing because we have a indoor firing range, like one of the few around here at all. We have a grappling room where we train our deputies on how to handcuff and have hand-to-hand interaction. It's got the rubber flowing in and everything. And then, and of course, the indoor firing range is absolutely amazing. You can pretty much shoot any weapon system that we have in there, which is great. And then we also have the virtual reality training room. This is a game changer. This is the way of the future. Okay? I mean, people can wear this, you wear the goggles on. I mean, you can watch it on TV and you get a sense of it, but it's nothing like once you put it on, you become part of it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, you take, for an example, a new deputy I get out, that whether he goes on a mental health call or a DV call, he's going to go on some, but he's going to learn from each one of these. But he's only going to see a few of these. We can actually train our young people in advance. So hopefully they'll be able to interact with the public and handle calls like that as a seasoned officer very quickly by going through this training. So,
I think a lot of people and citizens in general don't understand or realize how much effort and training your officers go through on how to handle unusual situations.
well, on everything, whether it's I'm ex-military, so I'm a true believer in when you get in stressful situations or even non-stressful, you're going to respond how you're trained, but especially stressful situations. And so whatever we can do to take these young deputies and put them in a better position is what we're going to do. And we do a lot of that up at the firing range with a lot of firearms training, because it can be such a crucial potential spot that we could get into. And then secondly, and even more importantly, it's just the general interaction with the public that we're going to do there, whether with the grappling room, whether it's the virtual reality room, and then of course I've got the new auditorium in there that y'all saw that allows complete capabilities for Zoom training off site. So instead of me sending off one or two people off for $8,000 or $10,000 to train that person, or bringing in somebody that cost me, $10,000 or $15,000 to train somebody here to do the hotel and air flight. I can actually do the Zoom stuff much cheaper. Where that trainer can do it from their own desk, and I can house up to about 60 people, and it's completely interactive. So with microphones, so you can respond back to the instructor even though it's off site.
So Dan and I are a real bargain, aren't we?
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right.
Now, did you mention that you would have other agencies that might use your facilities from time to time?
Of course, I've opened it up to pretty much anybody that wants to use it. I can definitely see our volunteer fire departments using it, and we do training for other entities anyway. Like the training I was talking about with mental health. I brought a lady in from Seattle to train. We trained everybody in Tuscaloosa County.
Wow.
TPD, Northport. We had officers from everywhere come in because I was already paying for her to be here for us, and we had to break it up because of our shifts. We do the same thing at our firing range where we'll actually do training. There's people that come in to do training where they give us free spots. So let's say you do a class of 20, then they'll let us have 2 or 4 people for free to use our facility. But at the same time, I also have some trainers that actually train people in West Alabama, those agencies, along with our people, for free. So it's a win-win situation.
Sheriff's Department has some really good jobs. If anyone out there is listening and they want to be considered for a job at the Sheriff's Department, what do they need to do?
You can go to the Tuscaloosa County Commission website and go to fill out an application. And we've got some great jobs besides, just within the Sheriff's Office itself. We have, of course, the deputy positions, but we have clerical positions. We have the detention deputy positions with civil process servers and courthouse security. We have video analysts for doing our camera systems that we have out. We've got crime scene techs. We've got 2. We just added another one, which is also part of the new building. It's a state-of-art crime lab inside that for DNA and fingerprint. And we do a lot of the processing for most of the major cases here in Tuscaloosa County out of that facility. But that's some of the jobs that we have, along with our dispatchers, which is really the brains of, I always say the dispatching is the brains of the sheriff's office, basically, and the jail really is kind of the heart of it. Everything comes out from the jail in some aspect. Just
Dan, you have any questions or?
No, I think it's all fascinating. I'm sure there's more stuff that you could tell us, but we'll have another opportunity in the future, right?
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you coming by, Ron, and we'll have to have many more of these because I think that this is going to be.
Maybe bring the dog sometime.
I'm looking.
Hey, if I had thought about it, I would have. He was with me this morning. Incredible. German Walker, I think is what it's called, or something like that. Beautiful dog, but just super friendly, But I appreciate y'all inviting me, and I'm glad to come by. And anytime I have opportunity to interact with our public and keep them informed, that's what we want to do.
And they would probably, if there's anybody here wanting you to come out, maybe speak to their group or something, you probably will.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm glad. I don't care. It can be it can be 5,000 people, or it can be a book club.
Yeah.
I've done that before too. So it makes me no difference. I'm happy to talk.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay,
Thank
thank y'all. I appreciate it.
All right.
Good job.